I never thought buying a little rambler on the edge of town would make me a villain. The house itself was modest, a sunlit living room, a yard that backed onto a creek, and a porch wide enough for 2 chairs and a stubborn geranium. It sat just beyond the HOA boundary, a thin line on a map that to me meant freedom. No monthly dues, committee meetings, no required hedge heights. To Karen, who had lived 3 doors down for 12 years and chaired the HOA with the ferocity of a queen defending her crown, that line meant order. At first she tried the gentle method. "You know, people around here keep things tidy," she said, smiling tight. As she handed me a brochure about paint colors and mailbox etiquette, I smiled back and painted the porch fence the color I liked. Then came the letters polite, then officious, suggesting I consider the neighborhood aesthetic. I tossed them in the recycling. Freedom tastes different depending on which side of the line you're standing. The screaming started on a humid Saturday. I was mowing the lawn when Karen stormed across my driveway, hair a comet tail, cheeks rose with righteous heat. "You think you can just plop a house there?" she shouted. "We'll seize you by force if we have to." Time and space tried to reconcile the words. Seize by force? Over my geraniums? My neighbor's chihuahua barked in what I swear was disbelief. Neighbors gathered like slow moths to a porch light. Some wore amusement, some discomfort, and a few the steel of people who'd learned HOA politics once and sworn never again. I stepped forward, palms up. "Karen, take a breath. We don't need to make threats." She huffed, and for a moment I glimpsed the woman behind the armor. A teacher, widowed, who'd lost control in a life rerouted. Or maybe that was wishful empathy. We talked until the sky turned bruised with evening. Words peeled back their sharp edges, as stories did their gentle work. She confessed her fear of change. I confessed my need for quiet. We traded loose promises I'd keep my yard respectable. She'd cut the dramatics. By the time she left, her voice had shrunk back to ordinary volume, and the threat of seizing anything had been swallowed by the small. Mundane treaty of neighbors, though, the next morning. Karen brought over a potted geranium and a plate of 2 sweet cookies. She didn't mention seizing again. Life on the edge of the HOA boundary returned to its ordinary hum. Only now our fences felt less like borders and more like places where people met. Sometimes boundaries are lines. Sometimes they're invitations to neighborliness, truly.